Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Super Game Brothers podcast. This is episode 34, or as Gandalf might say, 3434. And yeah, this is a weekly podcast where we talk about board games and video games as two brothers, hence the name Super Game Brothers. My name is David, and I'm joined by Devin for the fourth week a row in person. He's here, just had in and out. He's ready for action. Devin, how you doing?
Super duper. I don't understand the Gandalf reference though.
Oh no. When okay, beginning, Fellowship of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Bilbo has just left. Gandalf realizes this ring's a little weird, right? And then he tells Frodo, keep it secret, keep it safe. And then he leaves. He goes to Gondor, I believe. And he goes down in like the library. And he's like reading about Isildur, it is precious to me, or whatever, and all that stuff. And he says, in the year 3434 of the Second Age.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We like Lord of the Rings in our household, so.
We do. Lord of the Rings is fan-freaking-tastic. Also, this has nothing to do with Lord of the Rings, but I kind of mentioned it to you downstairs. Arcane needs to be watched.
You just finished it today, right?
A couple days ago.
Oh, a couple days ago. Okay. That second season, I think, is brand new. Just dropped.
Brand new, and the second half of it drops in like 5 or less days.
Oh, so they did it in 2 halves?
Yeah, and like split them up by like a week. I don't know why.
I knew.
You knew that?
Well, I do. I know why they do that.
Oh, why?
Well, Netflix doesn't have a history of doing that, right? They are kind of the binge platform where they release all their episodes immediately, right?
Right, yes.
But platforms like Max and Hulu and Disney Plus that do weekly releases, it's so when a new show comes out, they can get you to sign up and then stay subscribed for a second month and hopefully a third month before that show runs out. And so, but you said it's only separated by a few weeks?
Well, I feel like the first part of season 2 came out like last week, and then like less than 10 days later, they're releasing the second half of it.
That's
which
not too far.
I'm down. Like, they allow you to consume a bunch.
Yeah.
And then you're like, dang, I'm in. And so it probably does work.
Yeah.
You know, but fantastic show. If you haven't watched that, it's epic.
Recommended, even for someone that doesn't like, or I guess doesn't like isn't the right term, has never played or know anything about League of Legends?
Yeah, because I don't.
Okay. And it teaches you everything just fine?
I don't know if it teaches you about
about
the game.
No.
But
are there lanes and towers?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't teach you about the MOBA then. Well, that's cool. That's probably a cooler thing to sign up for Netflix with than what I signed up for Netflix with.
Oh.
I signed up for a month of Netflix last week when we recorded, and we ended the last episode about 5 minutes before Jake Paul started coming out in his little Jeep or whatever that was for the dumbest fight I think I've ever seen in my life.
It was terrible. Holy, I mean, I don't know that you could have made it worse. Yeah.
I agree. I saw a lot of like articles afterwards of like, how did Jake Paul fool us all into thinking like this was going to be the big cool fight? Because it was really boring.
I was bored. Yeah.
And I try not to be like too much of a conspiracy theorist because there are too many conspiracies and too many theorists, in my opinion. But I have seen quite a few videos like since the fight of like Jake Paul after it's done, like whispering, "Hey Mike, I got your money." and like Mike Tyson having like a perfect opening and like being about to swing and then not swinging for some reason. So I don't know what's going on, but it was definitely boring to watch. But you know what? I hope they made all their money, and I'll be canceling my Netflix subscription. So there you go. After I watch Arcane, I guess.
Yes.
There are a few things that I need to catch up on. I wanted to watch that. I want to watch the Avatar: The Last Airbender series. Love the animated show. It's one of the best TV shows ever made, in my opinion.
I feel like I
is
need to try it again. I don't know.
it's so good. Um, definitely at least like the first 10 episodes you watch, you're gonna think, is this made for 10-year-olds? And the answer is yes.
Oh.
But it gets its hooks in you, and it definitely has like its awesome, excellent, epic moments as well. Super good. But anyways, I've heard that the live action series is only like meh, but I want to see. It's got to be better than M. Night Shyamalan's movie, which is supposed to be horrendous. So, anyways, want to watch that and a few other Netflix items before we cancel that. Devin, I got a couple other questions for you this week. How long has it been since you have been on a roof?
Probably 2 years.
Oh, okay.
But this roof wasn't very high.
That's more recent than I thought. I got on our roof 2 days ago. Man, that's a little intimidating. I live in a 2-story, so
you just felt like you needed to get up there?
Yeah, just for no reason. No, our dryer vents out the roof. I wish it vented out the sidewall, but we feel like it's kind of blocked. The dryer's like not working very well, so I got up on the roof to see if anything was wrong with that like ventilation piece on the roof. And I don't have a very big ladder, so I have to take like the 15 foot ladder that I have, put it against the like first level of the roof over the porch, climb up over the porch, and then Lacey has to lift the ladder up to me. Then I have to set the ladder on top of the porch roof in order to climb up to the next level.
It's a little sketchy.
A ladder on a porch that's slanted about yay slant. Very sketchy. Feel like that baby's gonna slip out from under you. But I lived to tell another tale.
This is crazy.
Got a little bit of lint out of there, but I don't know. I think the issue might be with the dryer, which would be a bummer. But yeah, not a big fan of the roofs though. I've been up there twice. For that, once, and then the other time was to take down some Christmas lights. And along one side of the roof, there's like a 20-foot drop probably on our west side. And I had to get the lights off there, and I could not get myself to like crawl down close enough to the edge. So I like reached with my toes and just kicked the lights off.
I don't blame you. I don't want to fall.
No, and
screw that.
And my roof is a little bit steep. If you start slipping, like you'll slip a few inches before your shoes catch again. And I don't know. I'm 34, and I feel like a fall off a 20-foot roof might be the end of me.
Yeah, there might not be a 35th episode.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's awesome that appliances are having issues.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
Oh, yeah. They're very cheap to replace, which is good. Just like $50. But.
Yeah. Imagine.
Yeah, for reals. No, I think we bought that set for like $2,000 probably. And it wasn't very long ago. It was like a year and a half ago. So I'm hoping that there's just something inside of it I can clean that will make it work better. But anyways, yeah, roofs, man, they're no fun. Nothing else really new for me though, Devin. I had a weird eye injury on Sunday. It's a long story. I won't bore everyone with it, but I have an eye condition called anterior basement membrane dystrophy. Really fun. Basically part of my cornea will kind of, they call it an erosion, or kind of break off. And it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be stuck like Velcro is the analogy the doctor gave me, but my Velcro doesn't stick very well, so sometimes it'll slide off. Hurts like the devil.
Really?
Yeah, and then you basically can't open it for like 12 hours ish.
I would schedule that around my sleeping.
Luckily, it does. It basically only happens when your eye isn't getting its normal lubrication. And so when the weather changes to winter here in Utah, it gets really dry. And then when you're sleeping, you like be in rapid eye movement and kind of moving your eyes around, or like hit your eyelids hard, and that's when it will happen. So it happens when you're sleeping usually, but wakes you up immediately, hurts like crazy. And then I basically slept for like 10 more hours just to like figure it out. And then I went to the doctor the next day, and eyes are frustrating. The doctor told me, come in as soon as you can after you have one, because we've got to pinpoint the spot and give you a new surgery. I've had a surgery on both eyes for it, but the one didn't take as well. I went the next morning, so it's been like 23 hours since the erosion. He's like, yeah, it's all. Cornea looks perfect. I can't tell where it was.
Really?
Yeah, it just heals so fast. So they have to either wait for my next one, or they gave me this ointment I have to squirt in my eye before bed. Think like Vaseline, or what's another example? Aquaphor.
Mm-hmm.
In a tiny little tube. You just squirt that in your eyes. Makes bedtime a lot less fun. No more scrolling on the phone or anything. It's just right on the pillow, getting cream everywhere. But anyways, other than that, nothing new and exciting for me, Devin. Anything new in your neck of the woods?
No, I hope your eye thing doesn't worsen.
I've had it for a few years, and we're kind of monitoring it, so it'll be fine. But I took the day off on Monday because of it, and
oh heck yeah, you got a benefit.
I guess
PTO
did PTO.
Oh heck yeah. New in my life, I've been taking Shilajit.
Oh yeah,
probably for how long now? 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think maybe 2 weeks ago is when you first brought it up on the show.
I feel pretty
Shilajit to quit.
Pretty good.
Nice.
The workouts have been yeah. I don't know. Nothing bad to say yet. We'll see.
Okay. Some weird looking stuff. You brought it last week, and
yeah, it looks like venom.
It does.
Or tar.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange. What else? I was on Amazon Prime, and it said that we had purchased a Venom movie, and it was not the new one.
Okay.
So I was sad. You must have bought the other one like a year ago.
I have the first two.
Yeah. So I thought it was gonna be the new one, and it wasn't. So
is that one out on demand?
No, you can like pre-order it.
Oh, okay.
I did watch a movie called Collateral.
Oh, I've seen that. Tom Cruise and
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, it's pretty good. A little weird.
I swear, Jamie Foxx's character is the same character he is in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
just like gentle, just a little worker bee.
Yeah,
and I kind of love it.
He's kind of one of those actors that's almost always the same in most of his movies.
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't pay perfect attention, but watch that.
That one was okay. I was hoping to like it more than I did, but I did think it was pretty good.
Oh, what else have I been doing? I don't know.
Devin, we watched a movie last week after the boring fight.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, I don't like war movies, and I was like, okay, well, we're watching one right now, and I made you watch 1917. Between that and Dunkirk are probably my two favorite war. I mean, Saving Private Ryan is also excellent. Those are probably three of the best ones in my opinion. There's some other good ones too, but what were your thoughts on 1917? Did you like it? Was it too long? There are some, since they try to make the movie seem like it's one continuous shot, it's not perfectly. There are some cuts, but man, it's very persuasive. Because of that, I feel like there are kind of some long stretches where they're just walking and talking and stuff. But man, I love that movie. I think it's so good.
No, it kept my attention the whole time. That's what I hope to experience when I watch a film. Is just that I can fully pay attention and not want my mind to go elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it did that for me. I still wouldn't say that I love war movies, but that
was a pretty good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's a good one. I really like that one. There are some genres I don't love either. Can't think of one at the moment. I'm not a huge rom-com dude.
I can get into that. I really can. I'm like,
you're like, oh yeah,
let's get the tissues out. I'm ready.
I can't even think of the last rom-com I saw. I mean, the only one I ever think of is The Notebook, but I know I've seen more than that one.
Seen The Notebook many times.
I've seen it a few as well. Pretty good, a little dramatic, but it's kind of like the OG. It's like necessary watching if you like that genre. But cool. Well, Dunkirk is your homework for next week. I've got the disc downstairs. Well, I might own it digitally as well. I'll have to double check. I don't know. That's a good one. Christopher Nolan flick, so it messes with time and perception a little bit, and Tom Hardy's in there just being his cool self. It's
He's
good.
Bane in this.
He is, yeah.
That's crazy.
What would break first?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like him as Bane. That third movie gets a lot of hate because it came right after the Heath Ledger one. But I really like it. I don't think
I like that movie a lot too.
I don't think it's quite as good as The Dark Knight as like a movie, but I think it wraps up everything pretty well. I like it. And I think Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, pretty good job. Yeah, I think that movie's great. That's kind of a random tangent. Anything else new for you, Dev?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
These weeks go by fast.
They do. This one, it was only like 4 or 5 days because we recorded last Friday. So it seemed ultra fast this week. But well, then we'll just hop right into the show. I think it'll be a somewhat shorter show. There's not really much news other than a couple items. So we'll kind of zip through this. But for the uninitiated, anyone here for the first time, this is the Super Game Brothers podcast. We do it every single week. This is the 34th week in a row. We talk about board games and video games. We play a lot of them. I own over 400 board games, and we've played video games our entire lives. So it's just fun to chat about them. A little bit of news sprinkled in, and a little bit more of what we have been playing, and then kind of ending with a fun list or two now and then. If you want to write into the show or get early access to the show, you can do that at patreon.com/supergamebrothers. You can also follow that Patreon totally for free. So please check us out over there. Helps us out a ton. And if you could like this video, subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're watching this, that also helps us. So I really just appreciate you listening in any fashion. All right, the first section here, we always do the news mini nuke, and we usually start with game announcements and trailers, and I couldn't find a single one. So, again, just the time of year, there's almost nothing announced until the Game Awards, which I think are on December 12th. And we'll talk a little bit more about them in a little bit later. So we're going to skip game announcements and trailers. So now we've got updates to subscription services, and there's only one because we're right here before Thanksgiving. So the Epic Game Store has a free game or two every week. I'm going to hop over to the computer screen so you can see what I am clicking through. And the free game they have this week is called Beholder. I don't know a ton about it as far as like I've never played it, but it looks like you are a landlord of some sort, and you have to sneak into your tenants' apartments to see if any of them are like traitors to the state, or something along those lines. It is rated M, it looks like, so there is a mild language, some blood. So I don't know what's going on in this apartment building, but looks kind of quirky indie, in my opinion. So, yeah, kind of odd, but
yeah, I've never seen that.
Totally free. Add it to your library. And that's the only game that's new to subscription services this week, but either next week or the week after, we'll have all of the December stuff, so there'll be a lot to go over then. So that ends the news mini nuke right after it started, Devin. Woo! And now we are back to what we've been playing. I thought I'll start really quick with what I've been playing. I've been playing 3 games primarily. First one is called Arranger, a role puzzling adventure. I talked about it a little bit last week. And yeah, it's still very fun. I'm not very far, probably 4 hours maybe. But man, just beautiful artwork, and it's just a fun puzzle game where it's a slide puzzle. You're moving your character up and down, meeting quirky characters, trying to defeat bad guys by solving puzzles. There's no like action combat. You're primarily just moving like a weapon around on that slide puzzle to get to the bad guy in order to beat him. But there are some fun boss fights, actually. So it's a cool game. I don't know that I have much more to say about it since last week. So there is that one. Really recommend it, though, especially if you can get it on sale. That's like a perfect Steam Deck game, too. Really love it. Okay, next up, I started a new puzzle game because I can't get enough of them. And this
He
one's
does like the
called
puzzles.
Chants of Sennaar, and I believe it's free on PlayStation Plus, and it was on Game Pass. It might still be. I'm not 100% sure. In this game, you're trying to like help these different peoples that kind of hate each other at this point. There's like some religious people and like these warrior dudes. But you're like a outlander, I think, and so you're coming to this land and you don't understand their language. And so there's all these hieroglyphs, and you'll like talk to people and you'll see the hieroglyphs, but you don't know what they're saying. And so you have to figure out their languages, which is actually really fun. So you'll see these like hieroglyphs, and then you go into this menu where it will pull up like your journal and the symbols. And then you can use, might be a little easier on a PC, but it actually works really well on the PlayStation 2. Well, not the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 5 as well. But you can choose one of the glyphs and say, I think this means this, and press triangle, and then you can just type, like with the keyboard, what you think that glyph means. And then it will superimpose what you have typed for that glyph on the screen anytime you see that glyph, which is kind of really cool for your like notes to show up in the game.
Yeah.
And then later on, you do get to like finally cement and validate, I think they call it, some of those glyphs. And so you'll know like the official term after some more puzzling around. But yeah, really love puzzle games. And this one's really fun. Just figuring out those glyphs, filling in the journal, has some fast travel. You do have to like sneak around enemies at some areas, kind of light stealth, but it's all about the languages. I think there are going to be multiple. I've finished the devotees language, and so I'm on to the next people's language. I don't even know, warriors, I think they are. And they'll have like the same word, but they have a different glyph for the same word. So then you have to like cross-reference back with the other languages. Very cool art style. Cool, just really cool game. I really like it. You have to be okay with puzzles, with it being very obscure a little bit. Like it doesn't tell you much. It just like says you just show up at this place and it's just like, okay, go. But you like slowly see like murals on the wall about like their history and why these people hate each other and stuff. And it does look like there's quite a few like different scenarios and locations you go to. So anyways, I really like it. Chants of Sennaar. If you'd like a puzzle game that's unique, I think you'll like this one. I think it, at least so far, it's a bit simpler than something like Animal Well. Animal Well has like layers on layers on layers in its puzzles, where this one has been a little bit more linear, which I don't mind. So yeah, really like it so far. We'll see if another week, if I'm able to finish it, or if it starts to stump me. But that is a Chants of Sennaar. Super cool game. All right, and then last up, Devin, I'm still playing the game we talked about last week. I think that you probably may have as well, so I thought we could chat about this one together, unless you haven't played any more this week. But I've also been playing a bunch of Vampire Survivors.
As did I.
Sweet.
We actually have been going through the Castlevania DLC.
Oh, cool. I haven't got it yet. Is it good?
Yes. We've unlocked a lot of the characters.
Okay.
And they do a castle to kind of resemble Castlevania, obviously.
Yeah.
And it takes multiple runs, but you're looking for things and getting kind of shortcuts as you're going through it.
So is it just one stage?
From what I've seen, yes.
Okay.
And you're going through it with like all the Belmonts.
Okay.
Every Belmont you could think of, and the Belmont's pets, I swear,
Yeah.
are in there. And then I don't remember which Castlevania it is, but one of them, right towards the end, there's like this little staircase. It's way high up in the sky, and then there's like the throne room, and he's sitting there, and that like exact area is in this map.
Oh, okay.
And
Symphony of the Night, probably.
You get there, and you don't really know what to do, and there's
secret.
Yes, and I won't spoil anything. We have not done it yet, but love the game. Just sometimes wish there was a little more variety in gameplay, slightly.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of 40,000 small enemies coming at you, you face a massive boss for like 15 minutes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that would be cool.
But it's probably pretty low budget, I'm
yeah, it's made
assuming.
by one dude.
Yeah, and he did a great job.
Yeah, and he's made so much money.
Yeah. It's sometimes as you're going through this game, you're like, okay, just another round where I womp on everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, all right, I've had enough. But that was a bunch of negative things. I love the game. The game's absolutely fantastic. For $5, everybody should play it.
Yeah, for sure. It's absolutely worth that. It's crazy how much content is in there for a $5 game.
Yes. And I still don't understand these main menu changes you were talking about.
Have you unlocked adventure mode yet?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I still haven't played adventure mode yet, but we have unlocked it. I've mostly just been going through all the challenge levels, trying to unlock all the characters. Like I did unlock Santa and the one next to Santa, She Lightning or whatever her name is. So I've been doing some of the more tricky levels. Yeah, I also really like it. I also wish that there maybe was a time after you've played it for 20 hours, you're like, okay, I wish I could be a little different with my build. Because I feel like I keep going down the same path. No matter which character I choose, I always end up choosing the same upgrades.
Oh, do you?
Almost always. Like I never choose the dagger, and I'm always going like. I mean, I do some variation of either garlic or King Bible, or Santa water. I mean, I think you have to have. Or I like the lightning one too, to be honest. But, and then I like the auto casting wands. So the ice wand and the fire wand are pretty good. And I like the boomerang quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I use do you play with any of the arcanas?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I like the arcana where a lot of those weapons get 3 bounces. Because then with the wands, both of them, and the boomerang, if you have all 3 of those things are just bouncing everywhere.
Endlessly.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, there's some really cool arcanas. One where specific weapons get a counterpart.
Yeah, that one's cool too, because then you fire like twice as much.
Yeah, there's kind of cool perks. We turned arcanas off for a bit.
Yeah, they just seem a little overpowered, kind of.
Yeah, you can definitely overpower yourself in this game.
Oh yeah, have you done any limit breaking?
Limit breaking?
I don't remember which relic I had to get or what I had to do, but you can get a limit break where if you turn that setting on, it will let you continue to upgrade after you've hit max.
Oh, nice.
And so, I mean, I've like had garlic huge, like almost the whole screen.
Oh, really?
Because it's like add 2.5% might or 2.5% area, and you can do that for 30 more levels.
That is nice because sometimes you just maximize your character and you're just like, can the 30 minutes just come now?
Right, because there's nothing else I can do. So I like the limit breaks, even though it again seems like you're breaking the game a bit.
But. Yeah. Fantastic game, though. Really is.
Yeah.
It just needs a little more variety, in my opinion.
Yeah, some cool boss fights would be cool. There was one big. I wonder if you've seen this. What level is that on? Bone Rash? Or like
yeah.
There's that big moving thing at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're just forced to the top section.
No, not that one. Not that one. Not the death character that pulls the screen up. Yeah, it's a ball. It's like a skeleton ball.
I don't know.
You haven't seen that one?
I don't know.
It's kind of crazy. You as you hit it with more damage, it grows, and it gets so stinking big. Like completely fill the screen.
Funny.
That was kind of a cool moment. But I wish there were more things like that because that was one of only a few. Yeah, still really love it. Vampire Survivors is super. Just great. I'm excited to try some of the other DLC packs. Have you tried any others or just the Castlevania one?
No, I've seen a bunch though.
Yeah.
I guess there's an Among Us one.
Oh, really?
Well, we look up the evolution list because without it,
it's hard to figure them out sometimes.
Yes, you're just playing the same game over and over. So it's nice to see Evos every round.
Yeah.
And man, there's a ton of weapons in the game. The game is set up in a cool way where if you are getting evolutions to weapons, that's kind of the goal of unlocking the next character, and then you evo their weapon, and all of a sudden you have another character.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun.
Always
There's
another
always,
carrot.
yeah. But I don't know. The game's got a lot of content. It can be confusing at times. Like,
yeah.
I just felt like we were stuck. We really didn't know how to do anything else.
Yeah.
But
have you got the gold or silver rings?
No, I know what they are.
Okay. Yeah, you get an item that then will show them on the map. And so really? I have them on all my maps whenever I load a level.
Oh.
But they have some not very big, but quite a bit tougher enemies that guard them. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to keep digging in. I want to try out all of the different DLC packs. I think they each add a new stage, if I'm not wrong. The Castlevania one is more expensive than the others, and I'm not sure why. If that level just must be much bigger and have more characters and stuff, but yeah, still great. Really like it. It's fun in co-op, so if you haven't played that, you should definitely try it. Perfect, again, for like a Steam Deck or something. And we'll talk a little bit more about that game at the end of the show today. All right, and that's going to do it for video games. Hopping back here to our faces. We're going to talk about board games for just a sec. I've played 2 board games this week. I've got them here on the screen. Well, I mean, on the table. So I'm not sure if I want to... I'm just going to pull them up on the table.
Awesome.
And the 2 games are... Where is it? Table. Wrong button. Here we go. Are Empire's End and Aurum. And I'll talk about Empire's End first. This game is by John D. Clare, a very famous game designer who designed Space Base and Ready, Set, Bet, and quite a few other games. Very pretty artwork by Kwanchai Moria. Has kind of this cool spot treatment on the box. You can see the glossy section. And in this game, you have 11 different city tiles that represent your city, and they all start perfectly healthy, and everything is well, and they're all worth a bunch of points listed at the top. But during the game, there's going to be like 25 calamities that happen, and you have to bid to not take a calamity. And so to not take a calamity, you have to put one of these resources on the card to say, no thanks, I don't want to take it. I said no thanks on purpose because it's based on a smaller game called No Thanks. And then eventually someone's going to break and not have enough resources to bid. And so they're going to have to take the calamity. That flips over the tile of that location. And any tile that is on that side, it has flames on the bottom to symbolize, like this, to symbolize that it's destroyed. And those points have a cross mark through them. So you will not score that location unless you're able to repair it before the end of the game. But you got everything on the card that everyone else had bid. I really like No Thanks. So that system is really fun. It is a weird feeling, though, in this game to start with all of your points. Well, you don't start with all of them, but to start with a majority of your points. And then to just feel like, how can I keep everything from going wrong? And you're like always at a knife's edge from like, I'm going to lose my best location, which is worth like 30 something points, I think. So a weird feeling in a game where you feel like you're just barely skirting by. Because in most games, I feel like they have the opposite arc where I start and I'm like nothing. And I'm ramping up to something like bigger, kind of building a cool engine or a civilization or something. This one's very much opposite, where you start, everything's fine, and then it's kind of crashing, and you're just trying to avoid too much damage. I really like it, but that feeling, it like gave me a little anxiety through the play, where I was like, man, I feel like I'm playing so poorly, because I'm taking so many of these like calamities, and everyone is going to end up with quite a few, so there's really no avoiding some at some point, because you're going to have to take one to get some resources. It's just kind of playing the other people. I know if I push one more round, maybe I can force you to take it, or I'll take it next round, but will have gotten 4 more things. Really cool game. you just go in knowing that you're gonna feel like you suck at it the whole time, because it's brutal to just watch all your points evaporate the whole time. But cool game. I like the box size. I like how pretty it is. It has cool components as well. Like, this is not a deluxeified version of the game. This is the base version, and you just open the box, give everyone a little tray, and it has all their tiles and everything in it. And I mean, that's pretty a nice production for a small game, because most games would just make you put that in baggies or something. But so yeah, really like Empire's End. I've only played it one time so far, but at this point, I would definitely give it a recommendation. Not exactly sure how high of a recommendation, but hopefully with a few more plays we'll know for sure. Next up, I played Aurum. This is a trick-taking game. I'm really into trick-taking games right now. They are fun, where there are 5 suits of cards, and those suits they're based on metals. It's like copper and, I don't know, we call them blue, purple, green, white, and orange.
Wow.
Yeah. And there are numbers 1 to 10 in those 5 suits. But this is a tricky game in that there are also, none of those are the trump suit. The trump suit are gold cards. But gold cards will not be shuffled into the deck and do not go in your hand. Anytime you earn one, they go on the table in front of you, and they'll be worth a number of points. You can see based on these like sun circles on them. So this 8 is worth 3 points at the end of the round. And the trumps always win the suit. The highest trump would win the trick, excuse me. But getting them is hard, and using them puts them back into the gold display, so they're no longer in front of you. So using this trump card would lose me 3 points, because I'd have to spend it to win the trick. This game is also very unique in that it has a do not follow mechanism. So if somebody starts with this orange card, I cannot play orange. Which usually in a trick-taking game, you must follow if you can. I have to play orange. So then I, follow with this blue 3, and then the next player can't play orange or blue. So very, very unique in that way. Also, the other wrinkle, there's like wrinkles on wrinkles in this one, is in most trick-taking games, if you win the trick, you start the next trick. But that's not how this one works. And also, you win a trick if your number is the highest, regardless of suit, as long as there's not a gold. So even though somebody led with orange, this 10 wins because it's higher. Even though it's green, it's not the lead suit. Again, very different than most trick-taking games. So this person would take the trick, but whoever plays the lowest card in the trick gets a gold card of that value, and they get to lead the next trick. So there's a huge advantage to being the lowest card in the trick, which again is very unique. In a 4-player game of this, you play in 2 teams, and if you and your teammate are able to both play the lowest card, get the gold, and be able to lead the next trick and win the trick, like, such a good feeling. So I think it's really cool that you takes a round or 2 to get used to, because there are so many changes you don't have to follow. In fact, you're not allowed to follow the lead suit. You want the lowest card and the highest card in the trick, and whoever wins the trick doesn't lead. So very unique in that way, but man, we loved it. It's really cool. And this is one where you bid at the beginning of the round on how many tricks you think you'll win after looking at your cards. And so in the game we played, I think I bid 6 on the last round, and there can be up to 11 tricks, I think, if everybody plays all of their cards and the round doesn't end a different way. And we had won 9, which is good, but not perfect. If you hit your bid exactly, then you get double it. So you really want to hit it exactly. Whereas at 9 tricks, you only get points equal to your bid. So we were only getting 6 points. The last 3 are basically lost. But you can burn a gold card, again, not from your hand, but just from an area in front of you, in order to swap your bid with a card from your hand. So on the last turn, or second to last, I swapped the 6 with a 10. Really hoping we were going to win that last trick, get to 10 tricks, and then get 20 points for that round, and we would have won the game. But the other team was barely able to keep us from winning that trick. Anyways, very, very interesting trick-taking game. I think just because of the uniqueness, I don't think this is one I'll be getting rid of anytime soon. But you have to know that going in. It's very unique. This is, if you're wanting something that's just like Hearts, this is vastly different. So, but I really like the differences. Because in a normal trick-taking game, if you take a trick, you can kind of just, if you're smart about it, kind of run away with the round by, okay, I took the trick, I get a lead, and I'm going to play a card in a suit that I know nobody else has, and I'm just going to win trick after trick after trick after trick and get a lead, get a lead, get a lead. This one really breaks that mold, so very, very fun. I really liked it. I got this one for $8 on a sale last year, so you can get it for like a really reasonable price. I think it's excellent if you like trick-taking games. So anyways, two kind of unique games for me this week, Devin. You haven't played either one of those.
I have not.
But I do think both of those have a cool aesthetic as well. Very simple one here, but I like the 5 different colors and the gold cards. And then just awesome production here on this guy. So those are the 2 board games I have been playing this week. All right, that's it for the games that we played. We are, what are we at now? What we're most excited about, I think.
Ooh, yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure. The big game releases this week, I think, were Stalker 2. I don't have an Xbox or a high-end PC, and I didn't play like the first Stalker. And it didn't review exceptionally. I think it's in the 70s somewhere. But I know a lot of people were excited about that one. The Lego Horizon game came out, also didn't review amazingly in like the 70s. And then the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake reviewed exceptionally well. But it's basically a very old school JRPG. I feel like you had to have played Dragon Quest back in the day in order to love those and to be excited about this one. And I'm really hit or miss with the turn-based games, so I don't know that I'll be hopping into that one. Definitely not a full price and probably not for a long time. So not really too pumped about any of those. Probably just play more Vampire Survivors and Chants of Sennaar and a Ranger, to be honest. Any video games that you're excited about right now, Devin?
No, I don't know what's coming up soon.
And there's really not much because it's the time of year when all the companies want to have their games available for Black Friday. It's not like anyone's releasing a game, late November. There are actually a couple in December, so I guess I can't say that. I think Indiana Jones comes out next month, but again, only on Xbox. And it's very rare to have a game, like a big game in December. I think the new Ender Lilies game comes out in like January. So
That's exciting.
I'm pumped about that one, but that's not for a little bit. So as far as board games are concerned, got a few deliveries coming up. I think the one that I'm most excited to try out most imminently is probably this one. Let's go back down to the table. This is Baseball Highlights 2045. This game has been out of print for a little bit, I believe. There is a new version coming out next year, but there's also this like mini version called Spring Training that only has 2 of the 4 base teams in it, and the free agent deck was a bit smaller, and it only has 2 player boards instead of 4. But it was on sale for $5, and I found a bundle on Eagle Griffin's website that had this game plus a tournament pack that gives you 4 more player boards. So I have 6 player boards in here. I can play with 6 people. And I bought a bunch of these little extra card packs so that this game now does match and even has more teams and cards. I think I have all 10 expansions plus 4 extra teams and the 4 basic teams. So I basically have turned this small little box into the full Baseball Highlights 2045. it's supposed to be an excellent game solo, but also at like 2 or 4 players, and you run a little baseball team and you play like a little head-to-head game of baseball. And I think you actually play best of 3 in a 2-player game, or it might be best of 7, and they're pretty quick games. Like a game consists of only 6 cards played, I think. So you play one game, and then you buy some new free agents. So your deck will change. So you start with 15 cards in your team, and your deck will slowly change as you buy new free agents. And you can kind of customize one way. There's robots and cyborgs and also humans on these teams. So it's meant to be like futuristic baseball, but only the highlights. So it's not a full, like, we're going to play 9 innings. We're going to play 6 cards that simulates a game, and then we'll go to the next game. So it's supposed to be excellent. I'm excited to try that one. We might play it tonight. We'll see. But that's Baseball Highlights 2045. Let me know in the comments if you've played that one, what your favorite team is. I'm actually a little unsure for the free agent deck if I should add in all 10 expansions, or if you're supposed to like just add in a couple. So I need to research that a little bit. So if you know that, also let me know in the comments. But that's probably it for me as far as what I'm most excited for at the moment. That brings us to the news, Devin. There's not any board game news this week. So for video game news, there are 4 things I think that I wanted to go over. So we'll hop back to the screen where Vampire Survivors is still going, and pull up just a few items here. First one is definitely the one that has gotten the most talk this week, and I'm going to pull up the article from Push Square. I think they kind of summarized the article really well. Basically, there was an article from I think it's called Reuters that came out that said that Sony is in talks to buy a company called Katakawa. You ever heard of Katakawa, Devin? No.
I don't think so.
That's okay. They are a big like parent company that own a lot of other companies, mostly media companies. So they own some video game companies, some like movie and TV show and anime companies. The biggest ones that they own are From Software.
I do like them.
I know you really like them. I think Chunsoft, and Acquire. I think in this article it says that Acquire just made the Mario and Luigi Brothership game, and Danganronpa is made by Spike Chunsoft. I can't say that. Chunsoft. Words. They make kind of Japanese style games over there. But obviously From Software is the big name here with Elden Ring and Demon Souls and Bloodborne and all the stuff that they have made. After this rumor came out, Katakawa the next day confirmed that they have received a letter of intent from Sony to purchase the company. I think it was like to purchase all of their shares. And they said in that confirmation, we have made no decision at this point. But sounds like it's pretty well into negotiations, though, which is crazy. Sony does already own like a small portion, I think, of both From Software and Katakawa, or maybe just one or the other. So they already own like a tiny bit. But it would be kind of crazy to see them make this purchase. It makes sense. Xbox has been buying a lot of stuff lately with Activision Blizzard and owning Call of Duty and Diablo. Is Diablo Activision? I think it is. And Bethesda, obviously, with Fallout and Skyrim, and what's the new one? Starfield. So I'm guessing they've been feeling a bit of pressure for a while, like, we need to buy something big, and they bought Bungie, and that's kind of been an up and down experience. So, I don't know, it'd be really weird. I wonder what would change, though. When they bought Bungie, they specifically said, we're not going to be removing Destiny or Bungie's games from other platforms. It would be really, really strange if they like purchased Katakawa and said, you can only get From Software games on PlayStation. That would be a pretty baller move if you could do it, but I feel like so many people would be upset.
Why do you think they are purchasing?
I think they just, as an investment, think they're like a good investment. That From Software is on like a massive trajectory with, Elden Ring being like selling 10 times as much as some of their other games. And so my guess is they just want kind of own that and ride the monies made there. I don't know, but maybe there will be something where, I don't know, you can get Elden Ring 2 3 months early on PlayStation and it comes to PC and Xbox 3 months later or something. I don't know. That would be. I don't think that would happen though. But this is a pretty good article on Push Square. They kind of summarize the important bit. So if you want to look that up, props to them. They do some good stuff over there. But that's kind of been one of the talks of the town this week. I actually haven't played Armored Core.
I haven't either.
I would like to. It's I think that was From Software's latest game other than the Elden Ring expansion. And it's supposed to be really great, but it's very different. Like kind of like arcadey, like 5 to 10 minute like missions that you go on, but like super high speed and boss fights and like mech builds and stuff. So I need to try that one out as well. But anyways, so we'll see if that actually happens over the next few weeks. Next up, just a couple little things. PlayStation on the PlayStation blog has announced their Black Friday deals for 2024. I don't think any of these look all that enticing, to be honest, but here they are. First one, you can get up to 25% off a DualSense from PlayStation Direct and up to 40% off a PlayStation VR 2 bundle. That's kind of nice. I do want one of those one day, but money, right? And then continuing their tradition from last year of just totally hating on their current PlayStation Plus premium subscribers. If you join PlayStation Plus or upgrade from PlayStation Plus, what's the basic one called? What's it called? There's something then extra. Oh, essential. From essential or extra to premium, then you get 30% off that upgrade or join. But if you have premium or are already a PlayStation Plus subscriber, there's a no deal for you. So
it makes zero sense.
I know, just taking the Comcast and Xfinity route here, where they want to get new business and just want to bleed as much money out of their current customer base. Sounds great. There's also some deals, I guess, on Sony Pictures Core, or actually these I think will be new movies added to Sony Pictures Core, which I think is included with PlayStation Plus Premium. So if you want to watch Venom or Let There Be Carnage or Madam Web, or the much better than any of those three, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, then those should be on there. There's also going to be 40% off PlayStation Gear if you want a Last of Us backpack or I don't know, something like that. I don't know even what all is there. And then probably the highlight for me at least is there's going to be a Black Friday sale on the PlayStation Store. They don't have the deals up yet. They will be up on Friday, so the 22nd, when you're probably hearing this. If you're on Patreon, thank you. If not, then they're live now when you're hearing it on Monday. But I think the pick there is I want to see how discounted Star Wars Outlaws is. Because I think I want to try it. And it's probably been patched at this point, I would imagine. I haven't done any research, but I'm guessing there will be a long, long list of games on sale. But that one is specifically pictured here, so I want to see what that one's like. So that's PlayStation's Black Friday stuff. Here we are about a week from Thanksgiving. Okay, next up, I thought this was fun. Nintendo had a new Nintendo Direct. This one, we got the Switch 2 imminent. They've got a Metroid Prime 4 that they could talk about. They just released some cool new games, but this Direct is a Super Nintendo World Direct. All about the Super Nintendo World in Japan and the new kind of portion of that theme park they've added called the Donkey Kong Country
amazing
portion. And it is amazing. It's pretty small. There's only one ride, but there's a few other attractions and like a souvenir shop and like a gift store and a food cart and some other activities you can do. But they have like Donkey Kong Country music playing, and like in a minute you'll see Donkey Kong walking around and stuff. So we'll scroll through this just really quick, but just some fun stuff here. I wish this was in like the California one, but it's only at the Japan one right now. So you can do the bongo drums if you match the beat correctly. You got Rambi coming out of there. There you go. You can also find the Kong letters strewn about. You can scan them with your little power-up badge. There is, oh yeah, the jungle beat shakes. This is where you can get some of Donkey Kong's favorite food. The two items they mention here, I really want you to see the picture. They've got a banana flavored delicacy. I guess I should mention, this is Shigeru Miyamoto, Nintendo's like all-star. He created Donkey Kong, created Mario, created Zelda. And he's been there for 40 years.
What a resume.
Yeah. He's basically like God or a king to like Nintendo and video games as a whole. That's who's doing this tour. But this is the DK Crush Sundae. It's banana flavored in a cool barrel cup. I would eat that.
I would also eat that.
And it says, and if you're hungry too, you can try the DK Dog, which is a special hot dog that has avocado sauce that goes pretty well on it, I guess. It looked really funky. So there's that. Then they've got the Donkey Kong's house here with his banana horde underneath. And then they also show, here's DK walking around, just looking like a stud. I'm glad that they made it really big, because he looks huge.
Yeah, his proportions are like perfect. And
yeah, I really like it. I like how clean he looks too. Hopefully they can keep it like that. We'll see after a year or whatever. DK might look a little grungy.
Oh yeah, he'll be eating those banana shakes.
Yeah,
he's gonna be a little sticky.
Yeah, exactly. You can go to Funky's Flying By, and you can buy some stuffed animals. DK, Diddy. They've got like backpacks and like little hats and some other trinkets. Let's see, what else did they go over here? I think next up is the ride. So he walks into the, what do they call it? The Tika Temple? The Gold Temple? Something like that. And there's like some murals on the wall. He kind of walks through where the line will be formed. And he said they're only allowed to show like the first 10 seconds of the ride in this video. There are some people online that have like videos of what it's going to be like. And it's actually cool. I'll tell you about it in a second. But you got Cranky Kong and Squawks kind of giving you the tutorial before you hop on the line or on the ride. Then you hop in your little minecart. So it's a minecart level is the ride. And he says, here's a little sneak peek. So you go up around the first corner past Dixie Kong, who makes a little animal or a monkey noise as you go by.
Oh, she's so cool.
Yeah, Dixie's awesome. And then there is a Donkey Kong music going here right as you go through this blast barrel.
And they're going to cut it off right here, aren't they?
They cut right at the blast barrel. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. No.
The cool thing about it, though, and then he said that's all they can show today, and that's basically the end of it. The roller coaster is a minecart level, and it kind of has, this is kind of hard to explain, but if you can see my hands, two different tracks. You've got like the structure of the roller coaster where like it's actually connected, and then where the cart is way up here. And so it's like in the Donkey Kong games where like you'll jump from one track and then there'll be empty space onto another track, but there's this bottom piece holding you. So obviously they can't actually jump it, but
yeah, that ride would last long.
Yeah. But if you watch, there are some like POV camera footage of like an example of the ride, I think. And it looks cool. You like blast off the barrel and then land on the track, and then you're jumping over to the other track. Then you like jump over some gaps and stuff. And I don't know, looks pretty cool. I hope they bring this segment to California, because Donkey Kong Country it might be my favorite thing Nintendo's ever done, which is saying a lot, because I really love Zelda: Link to the Past, and I really love 2D Mario games, but I don't know, Donkey Kong Country's got like
it's fantastic
special touch. So it makes me a little excited. I know they have, speak of the devil, this game comes out I think in January. The HD remake of Donkey Kong Country Returns, which I think was a Wii game for the Switch. And with this new park coming out, it makes me hopeful that they're also working on a new Donkey Kong Country game. That would be like, whew, like David's dream. I love those. And Tropical Freeze, the latest one, is so good. So, anyways, that was a lot of talking there about the weirdest Nintendo Direct ever. But that's what they the other thing they showed this week. All right, Devin, a couple more bits of news. All right, Devin, next up, the nominees for the Game Awards have been announced.
Ooh, exciting.
There's a lot of them. I purposely didn't look at them before this, so we're gonna do it live right here.
Oh, fun stuff. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. But
there's like 25 different categories, so we're gonna go through some of them really fast. Best VR game, we got Arizona Sunshine Remake. Asgard's Wrath 2 is supposed to be great. Batman Arkham Shadow also supposed to be great. I mean, most of these are supposed to be great. Obviously, they were recommended for Game of the Year. Metal Hellsinger VR and Metro Awakening. Best Sports and Racing Game. F1 24, EA Sports. Can I get rid of this thing on the right? That would be really nice. Maybe I can just zoom. Oh. There we go.
Fancy.
There's a little zoom. NBA 2K25, Topspin 2K25, and WWE 2K24. Best Sim Strategy Game. Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord. I played a couple hours of Unicorn Overlord. Thought it was really cool. Just a big game, like, big. Best Score and Music. Here we go. Here's something we might be able to have an opinion on. Astrobot, excellent music. That's probably my pick here. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I haven't played that. Very well loved. Part 2 of the remake they're doing of Final Fantasy VII. Metaphor Refantasio just came out a few weeks ago from the team that makes Persona. It's getting a lot of love as well. I haven't played that or Persona, but
me neither.
Man, uber popular. Silent Hill 2. I thought that game looked really cool. I don't remember the music standing out though, or the score. Do you?
What's a score?
I think it's like the instrumental music, like behind the scenes, like when you're doing stuff.
No,
yeah,
I beat it almost twice. I'm not sure.
And Stellar Blade, which I haven't played, so I guess by default my choice is Astrobot. Very fun music in that game. But that would probably be my pick there. Best RPG, Devin. We got this is gonna be a tough one. Well, I don't think it will be actually. Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Ur Tree. We'll stop right here for just a second. A little bit of a controversy. Should they include a DLC pack in a game of the year? That's been a hot point this week as well.
What is their argument against it?
That I don't know. That's a good question. Does it take away from like the games that were released? If like Elden Ring could release a new expansion every year and win everything for 5 years straight, you know,
because it's already so loved.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
that is a good point.
That's probably one of the arguments.
Interesting. It
is huge though. I think that is well deserved. It's like that is bigger than most games.
I think it took me like 40 hours to fully beat that DLC.
Yeah,
at least probably.
I agree. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and again Metaphor Refantasio.
It has to go to Elden Ring. Well, I mean, I don't know, to be honest, because I haven't played the other three.
I think Elden Ring is going to win a lot of these.
Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 is hilarious and super unique in its own way, but like slightly janky, and quests weren't working, and a funny game though. That game was amazing.
Okay, best performance: Brianna White, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth; Hannah Tell, Life is Strange Double Exposure; Humberly Gonzalez, Star Wars Outlaws; Luke Roberts, Silent Hill 2; and Melina Wergens, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. I haven't played any of those 5, so no opinion.
Silent Hill, Luke Roberts.
There you go. Best ongoing game: Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2.
Ooh.
Out of those, Helldivers would be my pick, but I'm just kind of over Fortnite at this point. But it is incredibly impressive, like how much they're able to keep that going and keep it fresh. Also,
Yeah, but they are having to go back to previous seasons.
I saw that
They're doing that a
releasing
lot.
The OG
it's,
map.
It's almost like we've added every vehicle in the game at some point, and every character you could think of, except for Mega Man and the Ninja Turtles. We haven't done that. Helldivers is pretty new, so that's hard for me to say
For
it's
this
the best
year,
ongoing game.
Yeah, that's true.
Destiny 2 is going to be my pick just because they always killed it.
Yeah.
With the whole upgrade system in that game's fantastic. The raids, so much variety.
Have you played the final shape?
Nope.
No? Okay. I was just curious. I think most people liked it. I was just... Best narrative. A lot of Final Fantasy, Like a Dragon, and Metaphor on all these categories, but other than those three, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2, I bet Metaphor wins that one. Just, I don't know. Total guess.
I don't have good enough vocab for understanding what narrative means.
It's like the story and the writing, basically. Like, which most impactful story, probably.
That's what they should put under best.
Best multiplayer. I feel like Black Ops 6 is getting a ton of love right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Helldivers 2, though, was going to be my pick here, too. Just such a fun moment. I feel like everyone was playing that game for like 2 months.
I want to try Warhammer.
I do as well. It's supposed to be great. That Super Mario Party game is supposed to be super, too, but my problem with those is they require the Joy-Con. And every Joy-Con I've ever had has had stick drift within like 6 months. And I refuse to buy another one because they're $80 a pack.
Yeah.
So
Nintendo needs to make the Switch in like
they need to figure that out.
1440 or 4K and then just like perfect this controller.
Yeah.
Because
that's a good question. What do you think the next one I feel like is just going to be an iteration? I feel like it's still going to be a handheld and a docking thing. I feel like it has to be 1080 minimum. Because the other one...
It currently not?
No, it's like 720.
Get your acts together.
The thing is, they shoot for low price points as well, right? Mm-hmm. So I think 1080, 60 frames, and if they could get Hall effect sticks in those Joy-Con, then I would be totally fine with them.
I want 1440 OLED on my handheld.
That would be wonderful.
Oh, but yes.
Mine's 1080, 120 frames, and I think it's pretty beautiful. But yeah, having an OLED on there would be really nice. Anyways, best mobile game? AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Question, have you downloaded that?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's been really big the last few weeks. Basically, you open Pokemon card packs.
Well, didn't Disney try this recently? Doesn't Disney have like their own trading card game now?
Oh yeah, Disney Lorcana.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have some of it over here. That one is mostly physical. I don't know if it has a digital version, but basically here you open card packs in the app.
Oh.
You can like fight other players as well, and they're going to introduce trading as well. It's actually pretty fun because you're just opening card packs and like, it sounds like that would be dumb. But it's more fun than it seems.
I understand that perfectly from chests in COD Zombies and just a lot of different things. I love, testing your luck.
It's the same annoying system though with, those things where you get a free booster pack every 12 hours. Come back.
This is a lifelong game.
Or pay a bunch of premium currency in order.
Supercell.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, then Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero as the two kind of Chinese games. Gotcha games.
Gotcha.
Balatro is my pick here by a million miles.
Still haven't tried it, but I will one day.
Man, it's so good. Okay, best independent game. This one is...
Ooh, you're struggling on this one.
This one is really tough, having just seen it in this moment, because I didn't look. Animal Well, man, I love that one. Balatro, love it. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is supposed to be great. It comes to PlayStation in 2 weeks, so I'm excited to play that one. It must just be on PC or Xbox or something. Neva is supposed to be incredible. I haven't played that one yet either. And UFO 50 is super. It's big. I haven't played more than 15 of the games so far. So That's a really tough one. I don't know what I would pick. I would probably at this point, just because I have finished like the main story and gone pretty deep into the end game, I would give it to Animal Well, just because I've seen more of it, I think. But Balatro and you is right up there with it, and then I'd probably put UFO 50 as like a just barely underneath third at this point. But I am very looking forward to playing both of the other ones. So you've played a little bit of Animal Well, but
Oh, I did. That's gonna be my pick then.
cool. Games for Impact. I think that have like a nice message about change or something. Closer the Distance. Closer?
Closer the distance.
I thought it was gonna be Close the Distance.
Closer the distance.
Yeah. To be honest, I've never heard of that one. Indica, Neva, Life is Strange, Senua Saga, and Tales of Kenzera Zhao. Just based on my excitement for these, having not played any of the 6, Neva would get that one. But Indica is supposed to be a pretty cool puzzle game. Kind of like a halfway horror puzzle game, I believe. I think religious horror. Best game direction. That's a tricky category for me to understand, because it's like all of these 6 games had a director that was like, I'm in charge of the direction, like the feel of the game. This is what we want the game to do, and it's going to do this and this and this. How do I define that? I'm not a game director, but the 6 games are Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Refantasio. Having only played the top 3, and I haven't played all of any of them, I would probably give it to Black Myth just for like sheer like scope and like impressiveness. I was like,
very impressive. Have you beat that yet?
No.
Game is crazy.
Yeah, and it just seemed like it was huge, like so many fights. So I don't know. From like, is that the director's job to decide the scope? I'm not sure, but there you go. Best fighting game: Dragon Ball, Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, Multiversus, and Tekken 8. I haven't played any of these. The Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics one, I think, is absolutely beautiful artwork. Like that Marvel vs. Capcom.
Gosh, I love both of those things too. I'm a huge Capcom fan.
Yeah, like Mega Man's in there. And,
oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, and that artwork is amazing. So it's going to be that pick for me probably, but I have such a nostalgia for Tekken.
As do I.
But I haven't played since Tekken 3, so, I mean...
yeah, I mostly played Tekken 2 and dabbled in 3.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm not really a fighting game guy. Best family game. Ooh, this is a fun one. Astrobot, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. Astrobot's winning that one for me. But I haven't...
Astrobot is 10 times as good as The Plucky Squire.
It is. I like The Plucky Squire. But yeah, Astrobot's like a 9.5, and Plucky Squire's like a 7.5.
Yeah, weird.
But I don't feel like there are a lot of family games made nowadays. So, and not to discredit the Plucky Squire, I thought the ideas it had were really cool. I just thought it was a little bit boring in how it did the cool ideas.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's probably my pick. Best esports team. I don't know anything about these teams. Do you?
No, not really.
We're gonna skip it. Best esports game. Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends, Bang Bang, and Valorant. Again, I don't follow esports really, other than Rocket League.
I don't know too much about Valve now that I'm looking at this. I've dabbled in Riot Games. I've watched people play League of Legends. I've played Valorant, but I have never played Dota 2.
I believe Dota is a MOBA-like league.
Huh. So is Valve a kind of a game launcher as well, like Epic Games and Riot Games?
Valve is...
isn't that Steam?
The company.
I'm so confused.
I think Valve is the company that owns Steam, or Steam owns Valve, and Valve is their arm that makes games.
Dude, Valve is the coolest name I've ever heard for a company.
Oh, yeah. And
that is a dope name.
Their logo, like they do Left 4 Dead, right? Their logo with like the knob on the back of that guy's head, the red knob.
Okay, maybe I kind of know it, actually.
Yeah. They don't make very many games anymore, but Yeah, they are Steam for sure.
That
You're
is
right.
cool.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Very cool name. Best esports athlete. Don't know you guys, but good job.
let's see if I know any of them.
Okay. 33. Alex Sib, Chovy, Faker, Zaiwu, and
Zimjijikaka?
Zumjijika. That's probably not how that.
I don't know. I didn't know any of them.
Best debut indie game. I got it. I got to give that one to Animal Well, I think. It would be that or Balatro.
I almost passed out playing Pacific Drive, bro.
I agree. I think it's been patched and is like a rock solid 60 now. At launch, it was pretty rough.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know what I was looking at. If I was awake or asleep, I wasn't sure.
Content creator of the year.
Queso, that's amazing.
I don't see us up there, so I don't know.
And we're probably in that little empty spot
empty
there.
spot.
We haven't sent the picture in.
Oh, that's right. They forgot. Yep. I don't know any of these dudes.
You don't know Queso?
I don't. Is he cool?
He's funny.
Is he? Okay. Well, then maybe I'll pick him.
Yeah.
Ilo Juan, Techno Gamers, Typical Gamer, and Usada Pecora. So there you go. Best community support. Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky.
So I don't know what that means. Is the community just sending money to the game? Like, what do you
No, it's like,
what do you mean?
Do they listen to their community, like implement changes the community wants? Like, what's their patch release schedule?
Oh, No Man's Sky and Helldivers
are pretty good. I would say Baldur's Gate or No Man's Sky would probably win that for me. I feel like Baldur's Gate's been really good with like, okay, we're adding mods in, and here's all the stuff you guys want. And I would really like to try Baldur's Gate soon. It's supposed to be just amazing.
I want to try No Man's Sky, but there's just no beating it.
Yeah. It's
I
intimidating.
don't know where to go.
My kids like it, but they like Minecraft more, and so I don't know if they'll ever go back. Okay, best audio design. Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Lots of repeats here. I thought Silent Hill sounded like it had cool audio, like design, like when you're fighting and stuff. But again, having only played Astrobot, that would be my pick here.
I agree.
Best art direction, I'm giving that one to Oof. You know, I like all of those actually. I would give it to Astrobot or Neva probably, but Black Myth is very unique, and I feel like they really stuck to like their style of uniqueness, which was cool.
Yeah, Black Myth looked super cool. Kind of like Elden Ring, but different in its own way.
Yeah. A little more artifacty and blurry though.
Like Remnant 1.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Oh, Remnant is so good.
Most anticipated game. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, I think comes out early next year, maybe. Ghost of Yotai.
That's
very cool.
Yeah, that's big. Oh my gosh.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to make more than every other game on every list we just read combined. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and Monster Hunter Wilds.
Maybe I just need to know life Grand Theft Auto 6 as a streamer and just live in that game for like 10 years.
That might be like your path to success. Pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Metroid Prime, I actually didn't know about this, did I? Have we talked about this?
Maybe. It was announced like 6, 7, 8 years ago, but they finally just gave an update like I think 2 months ago or something with a new trailer.
This is my hot take, but they shouldn't have done early access for Monster Hunter Wilds because it made me not want the game. Oh,
really? I think that is definitely a risk they run. If like the demo is not excellent, I think it can turn people off.
But maybe I didn't play any of the precursors. Is that the right word?
Sure, prequels
to this.
Yeah.
And so maybe I don't understand the love for it because the game feels a little janky to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm comparing it to other games that play so differently.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fun. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Don't hate on me.
No, I feel like a lot of people are pumped for it. For me, it's either Ghost of Yotai or Metroid Prime 4. Probably Metroid Prime, to be honest.
Yeah, I would choose Metroid out of all those. And Grand Theft, honestly, is probably going to be funny.
Yeah, it probably will be hilarious. That game is going to be huge. By everyone's accounts, it seems like it has cost over $1 billion to make. which just for reference is like 4 times more than The Last of Us Part 2 cost to make.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, just humongous. And it's going to make like double that in like the first day, probably. It's going to be crazy. Best adaptation.
Let's go.
Hey, Devin, we just talked about this.
Let's go. It's so good.
Arcane, Fallout. I think you liked that as well.
I enjoyed that too. That show got weird.
Fallout?
Yes.
Like a Dragon, Yakuza, and Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft.
Haven't seen that. I choose Arcane. It's fantastic.
I kind of want to check out the Lara Croft one. I really like that style of hand-drawn animation. Like Castlevania.
Yeah, right.
Castlevania is
you would like
beautiful.
the animation in Arcane.
I'm sure I would. It does look very pretty. Cool. I haven't seen any of those 5, so no pick for David.
Seen a couple episodes of Knuckles, but
have you?
It's not as good as Arcane.
Yeah. Best action game. Oof, I think that's got to be Black Myth, in my opinion. Having not played Warhammer, which looks like it could be fun. But.
Yeah, that's hard to compare Black Myth to Helldivers 2.
It really is.
I mean,
I'd give Helldivers 2 like best multiplayer.
That was so fun when we had a group playing that.
Oh yeah, it's a blast. But as far as like, if I'm thinking about action game, Black Myth just seems like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. It's fantastic.
Best action adventure game. Astrobot, hey, I love this shout out. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Good for you guys. I like that. Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Still giving that to Astrobot though. I don't know. I think Astrobot.
I've only played one of those. Or no, I've played Astrobot, but I haven't beat it.
I think Astrobot's going to win a lot of these as well. Innovation in accessibility.
Innovation in accessibility?
Accessibility is like, do we have good settings so people that are colorblind can play? Or
yeah, that's what I figured it meant, but why is it inaccessibility?
I think there's meant to be a space there.
Oh, innovation in accessibility.
I'm pretty sure. Or else that would be the opposite, right? Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age the Veilguard, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and Star Wars Outlaws.
If I had played every game, I could nail this. This is my this is my thing.
I'm gonna give Prince of Persia a shout out here because I think that game's excellent, and I haven't played the other 4.
Yeah, that's fair.
Game of the year. Here we go. Here's a big one. Oh, Balatro getting some Game of the Year love. Look at that. Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. Is this the only category that has 6? I think it is. All the others have 5. That's tough. That's a really hard one. I put Balatro in like a different class of game for me. It's like my iPad game. It is absolutely excellent, and I play it on my PlayStation and on my Rogue Ally all the time. But I put it in a different category. But who am I to say what a game is? Game of the year could be any kind of game, so I think it deserves to be up there. I just don't know if it's the one I would pick. What's your game of the year, Dan?
I'm torn between Black Myth and Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Yeah, I thought you would.
I cannot decide. They're both so fantastic in their own way.
They're very different.
I loved Black Myth. You could go to a boss and completely learn his moveset after like 40 tries and then basically no hit destroy him.
Mm-hmm.
Elden Ring, a little more difficult, but it adds some co-op, and it's also just a branch from an already amazing game. Yeah, I don't know. One of those two for me.
Yeah, for me, it's one of the top 3. I feel like Balatro and Black Myth would be my 2 picks here, and at like 10 out of 10. And Astrobot would be like 97. I loved playing it with my kids, and like for me, who loves like more games made for children, which Astrobot kind of is, I think it's excellent. But I think the other 2 are like bigger, like surprises, like cooler things of the year, where Astrobot was just like, I was expecting it to be great, and it is, but I don't feel like it surprised me like a ton. I don't know. That's my thought.
No, I like it.
All right, that is all of the nominees. That took a minute to go through all of those, section. But that was kind of fun. So that is, I think the last bit of video game news. I think there actually is one other little thing, maybe. Oh yeah. So a couple.
Hopefully, this is better than the first was.
It is. It's way better.
Oh, you're gonna have to pull it up.
Let me see here. If I go to I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but let's see here. Oh, it's right here. This link right here. So there's a new trailer for the Minecraft movie. So it's trailer number 2. And it is infinitely better than the first trailer. So I don't know why they didn't lead with this one. Jack Black just being Steve Jack Black in here is just so awesome. So yeah, if you haven't seen this trailer, watch it. It's fun. My kids are pumped for this movie. Looks like it could be silly enough. Finally, like, gave an explanation for why. What's the Aquaman dude's name?
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, for why he's there dressed in like pink and with weird hair or whatever. They're meant to be gamers that have made those like character avatars and are in the Minecraft world. So that makes sense, I guess, even though I still think it's a weird choice. But yeah, this trailer is way better. So check that out. I think the movie's out like April 4th or something. But yeah, Jack Black just rules. So probably going to get a copyright strike for showing the trailer here, but it's just so much better than the first one. Thought I'd give it a little shout out. All right. Well, I think that is it for the news this week. Is that right, Devin?
Oh, yeah.
Send me that first link real quick so I've got it pulled up. All right. Well, that is going to bring us to Crowdfunding Corner. In Crowdfunding Corner, each week we look at board games that are on Kickstarter, GameFound, and other crowdfunding websites that end in like the next 7 to 14 days usually. I think there are 8 games we're going to look at this week. Since there are so many, we're going to go through them a little bit quickly. But yeah, so that's the goal here. First one is called Polaris. Polaris is the, I don't know what kind of name that is, the official name for the North Star. So the idea here is Polaris, the North Star, is in the center of this cool board, and the outside edge of the board rotates. It's a pretty simple game where you're just trying to kind of match patterns, but it's pretty. Has a rotating board, has these cool star pieces that you'll be placing out on these intersections. Then you have to place little connector pieces between those intersections to build like certain star patterns. To do that, you'll be taking cards and then playing cards. And the card that you play, I think, has to match the moon cycle of the area you place your piece in. And so as that outside ring rotates, that will kind of dictate where you can play your pieces. You can see it kind of rotating there. This game was designed by Simone Luciani, an incredibly famous board game designer, but this is a much, much simpler board game than most of his games. It's kind of an abstract game in a way. Looks pretty cool. It has some glow-in-the-dark pieces, which is very on theme. Has 2 different versions. The standard version that still has these cool like plastic star pieces, but then I think the connector pieces are cardboard, and even these link pieces are cardboard. And then they have their deluxe version where those are replaced with wood and metal coins. And you can also get it bundled with their last game, Sea Dragons, with these cool wooden dragons. So a few different options there. I think it's a pretty solid price, $38 for that standard version. And I don't think the shipping is too bad. Let's just double check here. Friendly shipping. Yeah, $9.
What does non-friendly shipping look like?
That's a good question. I think they are allowed to call it friendly shipping if, when it comes to your country, there aren't like tariffs or additional taxes added.
Oh,
I think is why they call it friendly shipping. Anyways, but pretty friendly shipping
that's crazy
in America. So there you go. That is Polaris. A kind of abstract game from Luciani, and I think one other designer who I should probably give their credit, Andrea Mainini, I believe. And that one's on Kickstarter, ends on Thursday, November 28th, on Thanksgiving. So while you're eating some stuffing here in America and some turkey, right before that tryptophan nap. Make sure to check this one out.
It's almost Thanksgiving already.
Yeah, next Thursday.
Oh my
Crazy
goodness.
All right, next up is a set of 3 games: DNA, Habitopia, and Synthesis. This is from a company called, I think, Timashev. Where is it?
Timashov.
Timashev Publishing or something. His name is Timashev. I think the
he slightly changed
name
it.
is slightly different. But it's 3 different games, a kind of bigger one and 2 smaller ones. And you can get them in a cool bundle if you want. And the bundle, if you get it, comes with like a mini expansion for a couple of the games and deluxe pieces, which I do very much enjoy. Wooden pieces over cardboard. So if you want all 3 games, that's a cool kind of thing to do there. Cool deluxe dice. The 3 games, DNA. In this one, you are getting these DNA pieces. Kind of reminded me of what's that game over there called? Harmonies, where you're trying to get different patterns of DNA pieces in order to what would you call it? Craft isn't the right word, but craft animals, and then put them out kind of on the board, I think. And whoever can do that the best is the winner. That one has some cool pieces, some cool animal cards. Next is Habitopia. And this one is in a small metal tin. And the cards are double-sided. The front side has an animal on it, and the back side has 4 different habitats on it. So when you take a card, you can choose to keep, you get to choose what side to use, either the animal, or you can use the back side to place it out kind of in your little tableau of sorts. So you'll be, drawing a card, and on the front of the card, you can also see the habitats on the back. So you might use it for the back to build out your kind of habitats, or you can add the animal. That's Habitopia, small little one. And then the last one is called Synthesis. And this one, you are rolling these like gene dice, and then I think you're drawing in like the different gene shapes in order to synthesize different animals and do that the most.
You mean craft?
Oh yeah, craft different DNA strands or something in the most effective way possible. So it's a roll and write game.
Interesting that in a bundle of 3, they would have 2 with a similar aesthetic or idea, like
with the genes and
with the genes.
Yeah, it is really interesting. The gameplay is much different, but yeah, they kind of doubled down on that, which is kind of funny. So there's those 3 games. The bundle is actually pretty well priced. Let me get to the pledges and I think the shipping's pretty good too. Let's look. Shipping $5.
They should have done 501.
501
for Levi's because this is all about jeans.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, $5.01.
It was so close.
It was. And then the 3-game bundle is only $9. That's, again, very generous for shipping. And I'm pretty sure if I scroll down, the games are $15 USD for the small Habitopia one, 25-ish for Synthesis, and 40-ish for DNA, the biggest of the 3. Or you can get them all together with all the deluxe upgrades for $79. Plus $9 in shipping, $88 delivered to you for 3 games. That's not too bad. So that is that set of games. DNA, what was the Habitopia and Synthesis. And this isn't scrolling fast enough for me. Where is that thing go? You can do it. There we go. And that one ends on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, November 29th. Next up is a reprint and an expansion of a very, very famous game that came out 7 years ago called Clans of Caledonia. And this is a reprint with a new expansion. And if you get the bundle, it's all put together in like a big box with like a nice insert, I think. I have not played Clans of Caledonia, but I think it's like number 70 on Board Game Geek's top 100 games of all time. It's supposed to be excellent. It's a bit heavy. It's 3.75 out of 5 about. And this expansion, I think, adds like a new board with trains. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah, different train paths that you can make and make deliveries, I think. Yeah, trains, deliveries, milestones, contracts, awards, a farmer's market, and a solo automa or automa. I'm not sure exactly how that is meant to be pronounced. So lots going on in there. I'm not going to talk too much more about it. If you've liked Clans of Caledonia, you can get the expansion, or if you haven't played that one and want to really badly, you can get the whole thing. Kind of pricey, at least shipping wise. I think it's like 20 euros, which is about $25 in shipping. And then the rewards aren't too bad. It's like $42 for the expansion or $42 for the base game, or you can get them bundled together for 83, save $1 with the bundle. But it does come in like the bigger box with the lidded inserts. They were very deliberate, or they put the word lidded in there a bunch of times. So there are lids on those inserts, in case you were wondering. So that's Clans of Caledonia. I love a good heavy Euro game, so I just have a lot of them that are heavy that I need to get to. Like Devin and I played Revive a few months ago, and I want to play that one some more and maybe get that expansion. I have Age of Innovation behind me, which is supposed to be amazing, and I think I might enjoy better than this one. So I don't know. It's just hard to get too many of these really heavy Euros. I just need to kind of dedicate some time to playing the ones I have first, and figuring out which ones I want to keep. But that one also ends next Friday on the 29th. Clans of Caledonia Industria. Okay, this next one is on GameFound, and it is called Royal Hospital. And in this one, you are running a hospital. And it's a medium weight Euro game with engine building, where you are it also says here tableau building and resource management. There's a bit going on some of these boards. It says players make decisions about how to structure their hospital, how to treat their patients, and invest their resources. I thought it looked fairly unique, has a lot of cards. The artwork maybe isn't like my favorite, but I can get past that on cards. I really like these. This is just David being vain here. They have metal versions of these tokens, and they're painted metal, is what it's called. I'll show you what they look like in a minute. And they have nice wooden upgraded pieces for most of the other stuff. If you get this crowdfunded version, a metal starting player token, and yeah, these painted metal tokens. Oh, here they are. Those look hot.
Oh, those are clean, actually.
Yeah, I really like those. When it said painted, and I was looking at it here, I was like, painted on metal? I feel like that would look terrible, but they do. They look very well done. There aren't like smudges or anything. Yeah, those are cool. So yeah, pretty medium weight Euro game. I need to do a little more research on this one to see if the gameplay is unique enough for me to want to look into it. I have a lot of medium weight Euros, but cool theme. I wonder how much in the weeds it gets. Like, do I have to run the ER or like see someone come in with a broken arm? That might be a little morbid, but maybe that'll be fun.
Scary.
That one's on GameFound until December 3rd. So check out Royal Hospital until then. Okay, next up is a very big one. Earlier, it was either really early this year or last year sometime, a game came out called Hegemony from this same company, the Hegemonic Project Games. And it's a very, very complex game about like political parties, kind of. And I haven't played Hegemony. I'm a little bit intimidated by it. And I think like trying to like win influence for your party across the country. This is a new game from the same company. It seems to have kept the same kind of political intrigue. And yeah, the ultimate international relations simulator. I've heard that Hegemony is absolutely amazing, but as like a theme goes, I couldn't be less interested.
I agree. Yep.
I'm not like huge into politics, and it's not just like I'm just more into fake things, I guess. Fiction, baby. Give me that sci-fi and fantasy all day long. Um, but nothing against it. I do. It's definitely unique and stands out because of kind of the way that they have leaned in to this theme. Again, this is another one I need to research a bit just to know if the gameplay is perfect enough that I could get past the theme. Really, really high props for them again, just doubling down on it. And I think the components and like the artwork and everything looks really clean. So I would probably really enjoy the game, but this is one I would want someone else to buy, I think, and then me try it. But maybe they have it on a tabletop simulator. Let's look here in real time. I feel like they would mention that though. Retailer shipping, kind of pricey shipping again. I'm curious, how much is this game? I didn't get to look at the price here. You've got basic pledge at $59. The gameplay pledge, it looks like it has an expansion, an educational booklet. Wow. For what's that one? $74. Superpower, which has deluxe pieces for 132, and Global Hegemon. Also looks like it has a playmat and some more stuff for 170. So I don't know. If you're into that theme, I'm guessing you will love this one if you really loved Hegemony. So again, I would really like to try them. I just don't know if I visually have the pull into the theme, but that's a David thing for sure. That one is on here until a date that we'll know after we're done scrolling. It has 6,000 backers, man. A lot of people are pumped about it.
Wild.
Kind of crazy. December 5th. So you got Thanksgiving and then one more week for this 2 to 3 hour game. World Order. All right. Next up is another big game in a very, very, very different theme. This is Lands of Evershade.
This theme is much better.
It's more exciting to me as like I go to games for like a escape from like reality a little bit. I don't know. This also is not a David game, but for a different reason. So we'll get to that in a minute.
Too scary.
Yeah, much too. Look at that guy's teeth.
Yeah. My heart rate's so high right now.
But this is Lands of Evershade by Awaken Realms. They generally make humongo games. They did Grim Coven, that one we looked at 4 or 5 months ago that kind of looked like Bloodborne the game, with humongous cool miniatures.
They don't need any more funding. Did you see how much they passed their goal?
Oh yeah. A lot of these companies will put the goal really low so that this percentage will look humongous, right? So they've done 7,000% their goal. But yeah, I mean, we're almost at $4 million for this guy.
Wow.
They get the reason. So just they've got 12,655 backers, so about double Hegemony's or World Order's backer numbers. But World Order was like 400,000?
600.
600,000? So if you double that, you're at 1.2. And that's a pretty pricey game, right? It was like $60 to $160 before shipping. The reason this bad boy is at 4 million with only double the number of backers is the pledge prices. So you got 323 for the featured pledge.
Wow.
And I think there is maybe a higher one, but there are some lower ones. People come to Awaken Realm games for the miniatures. It's going to come in a giant box, and everything's going to look super cool and pretty. Like, look at that. It's awesome.
Way cool. I get attached to the miniatures as well. It's hard for me to get past this basic wooden meeple sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. But I generally try to keep the games in my collection like an average of 20 to 30 bucks. And so, I mean, this is going to cost like 10 to 15 times that. That's that's the holdup for me with one of these games. Again, I would love to play it, just like I would love to play Grim Coven, but I could not get myself to pay $400 for it. But I think this one is a cooperative dungeon crawl. You're moving your dudes on a map, fighting bad guys. Has like a bunch of different scenarios and narrative stuff with like a narrative book. It's kind of like halfway RPG-ish, they say, with tactical quick combat, cool miniatures. See if I can find some of them. We got the sun drop highlights. I mean, just
Fun.
cool pieces.
I would like to paint a little miniature and spend a couple hours really.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think it would be. Some people get really into that.
I don't know that I want to do it as like a hobby all the time, but I want to try it.
Yeah, find like 5 miniatures you really thought were cool and just paint those 5.
Yeah, I have the Bloodborne ones.
Yeah, that would be fun to try.
But do I want more detailed ones? They're pretty detailed.
Yeah, they are. They're probably a level below these ones.
Yeah, these are probably metal, aren't they? Or are they?
No, I think they're plastic as well.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they do look a little more detailed. So, anyways, if you like a huge dungeon crawl, but yeah, look at those. They're very detailed.
Wow.
And like the cool, I don't even know what that is, transparent plastic that's also on some of those. Very, very cool. But yeah, I want to just look. Where are the pledge levels? And let's look at shipping real quick. So USA, if you get the Legend, the $323 pledge here, it's $51 in shipping. Estimated delivery the second half of 2026.
Really?
So they're 2 years out, basically. Maybe a little less. And it is crazy. This company, Awaken Realms, they'll have multiple campaigns a year. Like Grim Coven just went live in May, I think. And that one doesn't deliver till like May of 2026 or something. And so they're just like always cranking more of these out. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in there. Just not a David game for that reason. I'm more of a Euro gamer. I don't know that I love dungeon crawl board games. Haven't found one yet, at least that I've super loved. And the cost of entry to someone who is not rich is a little it's a barrier. But that one's on GameFound, making a ton of money until December 5th. So also the same day. Okay, next up, this game is called Layers by a company called Kids Table Board Games. And they make games that they're not like primarily made for kids, but I don't know, kids could play. It's kind of their shtick. This one seems pretty cool. It's called Layers. I think I already said that. And in this game, you play with one other person. There is an expansion to let you play with more than one person, but primarily it's you versus one other person, and you both make a lair where you are protecting like treasure chests and you're putting walls and villains. And you do that behind a shield so the other player can't see what you're making. Let me see if I can find an example. Here's an example. So you make a little lair, put down chests and bad guys, and then your opponent does the same thing. So they're making a lair on their side. And then there's like a pad of paper that also represents the dungeon. And you and your opponent will take turns kind of moving through each other's lair. And whoever can, I think, open a certain number of their chests first wins. So, like, basically can get past the all of the baddies that you put in the way. Also comes with some cool metal chests and some bonus cool layers, pencils. This base game seems like it would be a great jumping in point for like someone that wanted to play with their kids. The expansion, let me see if I can get down to it, is called Deeper Dungeons, and it's packed just full of extra stuff. The dungeons are, like the name says, deeper. So instead of being square, I think they add 3 more layers, 3 more rows of spots that you can add. More walls, more bad guys. There's multiplayer mode where you can play with 1 builder versus 2 explorers in the same dungeon. Boss monsters and characters and challenges, and So a lot more like complexity and other crazy stuff added in. You can also get dry erase boards and stuff. Very cool idea, I thought, where you're just trying to make a crazy layer in order to hide your goods and stop them from getting to them. And also get their other games. Diced Veggies is one I've had my eye on for a while. It's supposed to be pretty fun, where there's all these dice and they kind of get squished together. And then you take this little cardboard knife and you like slice between them and like slide off a piece like you're cutting the veggies there. It's supposed to be kind of fun. It was designed by two 11-year-olds. Makes me feel very good about my life. So that's kind of the level of games that these guys make, but pretty well loved in the hobby board game space. And cool pieces. Love the dual layered boards that those walls like nest in, and just a pretty cool idea. You also have a meeple here where you're keeping track of like where the other player is moving their meeple. Or sorry, this is where you are moving through your opponent's dungeon, because you'll have a board of your own dungeon. So yeah, cool stuff in there. That is Layers. Let's just look at the cost here real quick. I don't think it's very high. Where is it here? Base game is $50 in this Kickstarter version, or you can get it bundled with the Deeper Dungeons expansion for $83. And let's just take a peek at shipping, since we've been doing that today and it's a little bit fun. Oh, maybe. Shipping is USA about $14 or $15, depending on which one you get. So that is Layers. Scrolling back up to the top faster. Whoop. That one is also ending on December 5th. A lot of them ending that day. All right, and then last one. It's probably the one I know the least about, but on GameFound, this is their solo game of the month, and it is called Mech Bunny. And I really like the artwork. Kind of a silly looking cartoony bunny inside a cool little mech. And it's called a card crafting roguelite game of robot rabbit combat, which was a lot of words. But there are these cool, I really like this, even though I don't have a game that uses this mechanism yet, but transparent cards that you stack in order to craft different cards, in order to fight stuff, I believe, and kind of move around this roguelite map as this crazy cat, that's not a cat, bunny in a mech suit. So comes with transparent cards, mech bunny cards, cards to keep track of locations and to track something over here. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Sleeves that some of those cards will go in, and tokens and a die. So a pretty simple little thing here, but I thought it had cool enough art, cool idea that I wanted to give it a shout out. Let's just take a peek. I don't know what it costs. You can get the print and play for $5. I don't know how you print and play a transparent card though. But
tissue paper,
or maybe you laminate it or something. I don't know, just an idea. Or they have you can actually get it printed for $24, and shipping on this one is $5 in America or Asia, and looks like $6 most other places. So pretty good price there. So that is Mech Bunny. Devin, I think that's the last one, right? Yes.
It sure
It
is.
is. We went through those kind of fast today, but there were quite a few of them. Devin, of those 8 games, what one is going to be your pick of the week for the week ending? That's not right. Week for November 22nd is when this video is going out.
I want to choose Lands of Evershade, but it's so expensive. But it's my genre. Mm-hmm. It's like so cool. But I'm going to pick probably this.
Okay.
For its uniqueness, and I don't know. I don't feel like we've looked at many games that look like this before.
I agree.
But so Devin's back to the one we were just on. Layers.
Yep. I think it does look cool. I like the art style, and it seems like it would be a fun 30 minutes. I want to see the time here. It says 40 minutes. Probably can, I don't know. Again, anything under an hour, I think that's pretty cool. The game slowly, like, you don't have to do this. You could just open all the boxes at the beginning. But if you are playing with kids, like, you can start with like the content just in box one and then slowly add stuff so they learn the game in kind of pieces. So they've kind of thought this through, like how to have it be a more complex game, like if you get the deeper dungeons and all the extra stuff and like all the other variables, or if you just want to play it with your kids, then in the base game you've got quite a bit of stuff, but it's kind of partitioned off, so you can do it in chunks if you want. So yeah, I think that one is really cool. Let's go back here really quick because I'm having a hard time picking one. Two. And since you picked Layers, which is a good pick, I like it. Oh man. Clans of Caledonia already got its time in the sun, so I'm not going to pick that one either. I'm going to go with this one here if I can get the link to pull up. Love these links. I'm going to choose Polaris from Simone Luciani. It's kind of an abstract game, which I'm pretty picky with, but I don't have many abstract games that can play more than 2 players in my collection. And it's one that doesn't play in too long. Again, under an hour, 40 minutes. Looks cool, glow in the dark. Not that you're going to play it in the dark, but I guess you could if you wanted. Cool pieces. Looks like it would be a pretty good time just kind of playing these cards, trying to time it right with how the sky is rotating with the cycles of the moon. And it's a pretty good price. So that's probably going to be my pick of the week. And that's going to do it for Crowdfunding Corner for the week of, I keep saying the week of, for November 22nd, 2024. All right, Devin. To end our show today, we're going to go back to our faces here for a second, if I can. And all right, we're going to end the show with Super Game Brothers top 10 list. Devin, we've been playing a lot of what game recently?
Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Survivors.
Reiner Knizia.
Yeah, exactly. That's the right answer to every question. Vampire Survivors. And I think one of the most fun parts of that game is it's like dopamine overload. Like the whole time. It's just like things exploding, thousands of enemies. And it's just kind of fun to have that kind of happen. So I made a list of the top 10, David's top 10 dopamine-inducing games. I think you've played most of these, but we're just going to go through the top 10. If you have any other ones that you want to add, feel free, but I think these 10 will probably represent it pretty well. So we're going to go back up to the screen, and I need to click on the right thing here. Number 10 here, Devin, for me, is Peggle. Peggle's a little tricky in that it's uber lucky, in my opinion. You basically throw these metal balls down and you're trying to get it to bounce on certain pegs to get a ton of points and to clear like all of the orange pieces, I think. But man, super, super fun. Well, when you're watching it like bounce around kind of Plinko style, and you get to do some cool like slow motion and multi-ball stuff, and it's just can be a little bit of like firework overload on the screen. So that was one me and my wife really enjoyed. It's been a while, but it's fun. So Peggle 2 is my number 10 there. For number 9, and they're going to take up a big chunk of this list, are games from Housemarque Games. I think a lot of their games, for me, represent like kind of the best of like fast-paced arcade games where you kind of get in like a zen-like state and you're just like flowing and there's bullets everywhere, and after a bit of learning you're just crushing it. See if I can find the different video that actually shows the gameplay here though. But this is an excellent game. It's very tricky. This one is probably their This is my third favorite of their games. We'll get to the other two in a minute. Spoilers, but very, very fun. You're trying to keep up a combo, defeating enemies, not getting hit, so you can keep that combo up. And it has some cool boss fights in there as well. Very, very cool. I think the bullet hell element of games kind of remind me of Vampire Survivors with like, you've got 10,000 enemies coming at you, or in this scenario, 10,000 bullets kind of coming at you. So that's Nex Machina at number 9. Number 8, Devin, is one I know that you've played.
I agree with number 8.
And I think something that I also love about Vampire Survivors is in some stages, especially with certain characters, you'll start out feeling very underpowered for like the first quarter of the stage. But then as you get like the right upgrades, you start to feel super overpowered towards like the end of your arc. And I like that feeling in like a roguelike game or something like this that is very action focused, where you're struggling, and then, oh yes, I got this gun that I love. And Enter the Gungeon is very much that, where there's, I think, thousands of different gun combinations in the game, and you can get like a rainbow chest all of a sudden and then feel like uber like powerful for a minute. Just an excellent, excellent game. This one, man, has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I struggled to ever get to the point of feeling overpowered in this game, though.
It is true. I don't feel like you ever feel like incredibly dominant, but I do feel like in some runs I felt more capable than others.
Yeah, the RNG of weapon drops, if that's how you pronounce that, is make or break per round.
Yeah, it can be. But when you get a good one, it's fun.
And it's co-op, so play with your friends.
It's true, and it's pretty great in co-op. It doesn't feel like too restrictive, which is a good thing. So that's number 8 at Enter the Gungeon. Next up, another one that gives me that same feeling where, man, you feel like you're really struggling, but then with a couple upgrades, or in this case, a couple new cards getting added to your deck, you can start to feel like, okay, now my deck is really, really like synergizing well, and I'm really rolling. Slay the Spire, super, super fun. So much has been said about this game. I don't know if I can say much more. I don't know that you've played this one, Devin.
I have not. It's interesting to see what it's like right now.
Oh, it's so fun. It's a deck building game. So you start with a certain character, of which I think there are 4 or 5, and they'll have a base deck. And then as you start your run, you're playing cards to do attack and defense. But then you can purge cards from your deck, like permanently, and then get new cards in your deck, so you can make each run incredibly different just based on which cards you buy from the shops or how you decide to upgrade. It's really, really, really great. So I am very excited to play the sequel. I don't generally play games in early access, so I'm kind of waiting for it to be like fully released, but Slay the Spire 2 I think is out if you want to play it in that form. So another just really great one. Feels good to just start wrecking shop. Watching your cards kind of combo together in certain ways. Just great. So, good one there. This one gives me similar vibes, but in a different way. Hades is number, what's that, 6?
6.
And this one, again, just kind of similar to Enter the Gungeon, I think gives me that feeling of when you get a good run going, man, it's really fun to just blast through enemies. The art's super gorgeous, and there can be damage like flying all over the screen. A bit more, I don't know, focused on quality and like, I don't know, skill than Vampire Survivors, where Vampire Survivors is more about like the build and just avoiding damage.
Hades is so good.
It really is.
The main menu upgrades, permanent upgrades, temporary upgrades. The story is kind of fun, the different really people you talk to.
And the way they roll it out is excellent. You feel like almost after every single run, like it's not just like Spelunky, which I love, where you're just hopping right back in. It's, oh, this person has a new thing to tell me, and I've got like a quest here. It really feels like a linear game, but it's not. It's a roguelike game. And like the bosses change. Like the end of World 1 boss will change at some point, which is like it adjusts itself so well. It's really excellent once you get some good upgrades and really get used to the combat. Find a weapon that you love, and there's quite a few different ones. Man, that one really sings. So dopamine hit for sure, but a little more skill based than some of the others. Number 5.
Number 5
is a new game this year. It's actually up. This is kind of funny. Or I guess it's not funny. It's got its Game of the Year nominee banner right here for the Game Awards. Very well deserved. This is Balatro. In this game, you're trying to make poker hands to get as many points as possible. Your points have 2 things. You have chips on the blue side, and then your multiplier on the red side. And they multiply together to give you your score. And you have to get over some threshold to beat a level, or else you lose and have to start over again. And so you're getting crazy upgrades in order to change your deck. You can start with crazy decks. One of my favorite decks is called the Checkered deck. And I think it only has diamonds and, what's the other one? Spades, maybe? And so there's only 2 suits, but you have 26 cards of each suit. So with that one, I basically try to level up flush all the way, because you're much more likely to have 5 cards of the same suit with only 2 suits. So you can really customize this one like crazy. And then a lot of the fun comes with the jokers. There are, I think, almost 200 jokers if I'm not misremembering. And they give you all kinds of like game-breaking perks that will let you like adjust your hand size, or give you extra chips or extra mult if you do this or that. And the way they combo is just excellent. And like setting a hand down and then just watching it go ding 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 ding, and give you like 100,000 points with 100,000 ding noises. It's pretty wonderful. So Balatro is really great. It's on Apple Arcade. Play it on your phone or your iPad. It's also, I think, just about everywhere on PlayStation, Steam, and elsewhere. So that's Balatro at number, was that 4?
I believe that was 5.
That was 5. Okay. Number 4, this one, I don't know, this one might be one of the more controversial ones on this list, but as far as dopamine is concerned. But the way I think about Spelunky and Spelunky 2, I've played them so much that at some point, like the physics and like the rules of the game just kind of like cement in your head.
Yes.
And you get into kind of like a state where you can almost sprint through levels, even though everything is trying to kill you and basically can at any moment. And you're just like so good at the game and understanding its rules at that point that it becomes almost like a dopamine hit in a different way than the other games in this list. So that's kind of...
It's so exciting trying to get far in this game. And really you're doing well, and you did it. You checked every box, which is extremely hard to do.
Yeah. You can get crazy builds in this game, too. My favorite is to get there's this sacred cup you can get, and it will fill with... It sounds morbid, but it's less morbid than it sounds. It will fill with blood of the enemies you kill. If after you kill them, you run around and like grab their little blood droplets. And that will just fill up your hearts. You only have 4 hit points to start the game, and I've gotten up almost close to 30, I think. And at that point, you feel really, like, invulnerable as well.
You feel safe except for the things they can one-shot.
Yeah, it's true. You fall on spikes, and you still die even with 30 health or get squished. So you're never truly safe, but with enough practice, you kind of start to feel more safe, for sure.
What a punishing, fun, well-made game.
Just excellent.
You just have to play it with people who are willing to retry and retry and retry and retry, because that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Made by the same designer as UFO 50, which is uber popular this year. Yeah, if you haven't played Spelunky, it's just... I mean, I don't know. I think it's one of the best games ever made. So fun, excellent game. Different kind of dopamine hit for sure, but I think it is there if you're looking for that. Okay, this is number 3, right?
This is number 3.
Okay. Number 3 for me is the next game from, let's see, from Housemarque that I think is, again, the bullet hell nature of bullets flying at you everywhere, getting a cool build, and eventually like feeling uber overpowered is Returnal. And this one being like a big, almost AAA, like third person game with really pretty graphics too, is like really fun because you're kind of used to Housemarque's games being little 2D things or kind of, we talked about Vampire Survivors and we're going to again in a minute. This one feels like ultra high budget compared to that. Man, it feels great. Devin, I know you've played this one a bit. What were your thoughts on it real quick before I talk about my favorite thing?
My thoughts on this game. I thought the house was cool. You show up and it kind of like introduces you to a story. Each zone is very different aesthetically. It's showing that right now.
Yeah.
Weapon variety. One of my favorite things is I wasn't just screwed over by picking up a weapon. I was able to drop the one I had, try the new weapon, didn't like the perks of it, pick my old weapon up.
Yeah.
Super fun. Awesome visuals, awesome audio.
Oh yeah.
Cool enemy design. I think I got, 60% of the way through. How many worlds are there? 5? I
think there's 6.
6? Then maybe I got 50%.
Yeah, I think you're
I don't
close.
know why I stopped playing
World 3 is tough. I don't think you beat the third one yet.
Yeah, it wants you to slow down a little bit sometimes. You can be the type of person to just blast through each world, but then you don't have the upgrades that you probably
it wants
need.
You to. You can still move fast. I love how the movement speed is uber fast.
So amazing.
But it wants you to explore. Look for chests. Look for extra heals.
It's honestly a perfectly set up game because nothing is more frustrating than dampened movement. So to be able to move fast is super nice, but to be able to move fast in a strategic corner checking way, makes me very happy.
Did you get to this boss of the third world? I don't think you did. That boss is excellent. So is the boss of the fourth world. Man, game rules. Game is so good. The part of it I think that gives me the dopamine hit is the same thing as some of the others we've talked about, where you can like really feel like you're barely skirting by with like a weapon you don't really like, but then you get like a few good upgrades. And I don't think you got to my favorite weapon, Devin. It's called the Pylon Driver, I believe. And man, it just rules. You don't primarily aim at enemies with it. It shoots these little like electricity rods that lodge either in enemies or in walls or in floors, and then they arc and create a red line of electricity between each other.
Okay.
Which harms the enemies. And so you're basically just running and shooting those pylons like everywhere.
As traps.
As kind of like a trap, yeah. Or you can shoot it right at the enemy and just have them like impaled with them. But yeah, very, very great game. I love this one. And like I mentioned, some of those boss fights are just killer. And you can get into like a zen-like state with this one too, as you like improve at it. But there are some very difficult parts. I think there's these enemies in the third world that shoot missiles, like heat-seeking kind of missiles at you. Those ones killed me so many times. Great game. All right, number 2 was kind of the inspiration for this list for me. Vampire Survivors. Just so much fun. So it is so addicting and fun that my wife even likes playing it.
Well, that's what I was saying about it is anybody would enjoy this game.
Yeah.
Because you can do it
with one hand and
text at the same time.
Yep. I've had quite a few runs. Well, not quite a few. I've had a couple where I was playing with my son and I was really tired and I accidentally fell asleep.
Oh, yeah.
But it didn't matter because I had so many upgrades going that I fell asleep for like 5 full minutes and he's like running around me and we're just destroying the level, which makes it seem like the game is playing itself. But it's not. You get to do enough and you have to move to avoid damage and stuff. I had just had so many upgrades at that point that nothing could hurt me. But this game is, I think, dopamine defined. I think I did have a level just a couple days ago where I killed over 100,000 enemies, which I think is the highest I've gotten. It was like 102 or something.
I think we did that as well.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been, I think it was close to 100,000. I think we had leveled up so many times.
Mm-hmm.
There's specific maps where it sends so many tiny enemies at you.
Those are the easier ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the maps start towards the end of the level. They'll just send all the big enemies that have so much health, and
Right.
they don't die very fast. But yeah, those tiny ones. Oh yeah, man, Vampire Survivors, tons of game in there. I've played it for probably 20 hours, and I still have only purchased the base game, which is $4.99, $4.99. Or you can get it on sale occasionally, and it has like 5 or 6 expansions at this point. So just so great. That is my number 2 dopamine game of all time.
Number 1 dopamine game on this list reminds me of you.
Does it?
Yes. And here it is.
I love it. It's my favorite Housemarque game. I played this one also a ton with my wife, which it's surprising that she liked this one because this one is much more skill based than like Vampire Survivors, but just excellent. This is Resogun, and this is very much an arcade game where you're kind of going left and right, but it rotates around a cylinder. You're trying to save humans, and you can only shoot left and right in a straight line. There's different ships you can play as, and again, you're trying to keep your multiplier up in order to get the best scores and the best upgrades by not missing humans, not taking damage. I think there's only 5 stages in the regular game, but there's a lot of like replay value in there for just having 5 base stages. Each stage ends in a cool big boss fight. And then they did release I think 2 DLC packs to this game, and they were super fun. Can't remember their names, like the name of the DLC pack. But one of them, I think, had you playing as the humans with Gatling guns, and you would like
Really?
shoot at aliens up in the sky. And you had to like jump back and forth on little platforms, kind of like Super Smash Brothers and stuff. Just had some really, really great expansion content as well that just kind of remix the formula. I think this one is super. You definitely get in like a flow-like state with this one, too. But much like Hades, I think this one takes a bit more skill and finesse than some of the others. But this is my favorite dopamine hit of a game, and especially just watching all those voxels explode, the cubes. Fun moments. This was kind of I mean, for like the first year, this was my favorite PlayStation 4 game. I mean, just rules. So, anyways, that's Resogun. Devin, I know you've played it a little bit. Have you played much of this one?
No, not too much. I have 2 honorable mentions.
Okay, yeah, let's do some.
And we don't have to pull them up, but the first one is Borderlands 3.
Oh, yeah.
As you progress through each planet in that game, you're able to unlock sections of the map, which you can come back to later and do basically, it's like, not boss rushes, but waves of enemies, and it gets extremely hard.
Yeah.
It's basically a dopamine hit after putting 100 hours into the game to create a perfect build of your character, because you can whomp on the enemies. And then they start throwing extremely heavy, tanky enemies at you.
Mm-hmm.
That game feels a little more realistic than a lot of these games on this list, just because it is a first-person shooter. Very satisfying in certain times in that game, unless your build is absolute garbage and then you feel like you're just getting wrecked. But
that one is fun. I really like the PlayStation 5 upgrade too, because it runs really well. And that menu where you like pull up your character upgrade screen that's like overlaid over the actual game.
Yes.
Actually like functions really well on the upgrade too.
Yeah, it's a bit to understand at first, but that game's pretty dang amazing. I'm very excited for Borderlands 4. The other one I don't have as much information about, but I dabbled in 2 or 3 of the Doom games.
Oh, yeah.
And like them or hate them, they can be a bit intense. It is absolute sprinting and punishment from all angles.
No, it really is. Just heavy metal and gore. But I mean, it definitely takes like it kind of has a similar vibe to like something like this or Returnal, where like you get in a flow state and you're like blowing up this guy's guts here and this alien over here, and then you cut that guy in half, and heavy metal's going the whole time. It's a crazy experience. So I think those are good good honorable mentions.
The last thing I'll say, I think any game can give you a dopamine hit if you understand the game well enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Clash Royale, I get in that Zen state you were talking about, and I can see victory happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I think I'm a little ahead right now, and I understand the vision of how to fake you out and basically give myself a guaranteed win. And I like that about games. I learned Remnant 2 so well that I loved joining randoms online because I knew my build was top tier.
Right.
And I was like, I know all the secrets, and I'm going to help you guys find some things.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. Sometimes it is nice to feel like you know something or you've learned something thoroughly, and it's fun to share.
Yeah. No, I agree. There are definitely lots of different kinds of dopamine in video games. And that's probably like in all of them.
Yeah.
I would feel like that's generally what we're looking for in a video game. Is like, okay, when do I get the next good feeling?
Yeah.
But anyways, let us know in the comments what your favorite games are that give you a dopamine rush. I think these 10 that I kind of went through today are some of my favorites, but as Devin mentioned is in his honorable mentions, there's so many other ways that could be interpreted, and so many other games too. And I may have forgotten some great ones that could have been on this list for me too. So let us know. And that's going to do it for this Super Game Brothers top 10 list. And Devin, that's gonna do it here for episode 34.
Crazy.
Like I said, this episode was only 20 minutes long. It was crazy how that happened. I'm always perfectly accurate.
You should say 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
There we go. 2 hours and 20 minutes. So, we're we shot a little over, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun.
It was. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, it's kind of fun in person too.
Kind of nice to work together.
Yeah. It's fun to have something up here on the TV screen, just be chatting about it, and it's a good time. Well, thanks so much for listening and watching. Make sure again to check us out on patreon.com/supergamebrothers. It helps us out a ton. Like and subscribe to the podcast wherever it is you watch/listen. And make sure to check out Devin on Twitch. That's Player4. And we will see you next week for episode 35. Till then, have a good one.